Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Nope, that's not how parking tickets look like here in Australia. I'm just using that white paper to demonstrate a common problem with wipers for this generation of Mercedes C200s. It follows Mercedes' tradition of over-engineered wiper systems from previous generations. Remember those mono wipers back in the 80s? It was a feat of engineering, but it has its drawbacks. So a few years later, Mercedes doubled the budget allocated to their wiper system department, and they came up with this new design. This updated system is clearly much simpler, but in this instance, it gives rise to a different problem. And over time, the system failed and we see areas of the windshield not being cleaned. One arm pushes the other in a certain angle, and as a result, this one sort of lifts up away from the windshield, and what happens there is that you have this gap sitting between the wiper blade and the windshield, and of course you want full contact all the time, not like this. Probably has about 5 millimeters of travel, so it's not making good contact roughly around from this side up to that side, so which means that when there's rain or there's dirt on the windshield, it doesn't fully clean this area over here. There's a big dirt that's left on the windshield, and there's no way to clean that windshield until this problem is fixed. So in this video I'm going to show you how to fix this common problem. Hopefully that will help you fix a similar problem in your car. So the first step is to open up the bonnet, then move it into its service position by pressing this red button and give it a good push until you hear it click. Now it's sitting completely vertical, so you have better access to those two screws that hold the wiper arm. Using a 13mm socket, go ahead and loosen up the two bolts. So now we have the two screws removed. Some people would use one of those special tools to remove this, but I find that if you sort of move it around, wiggle it around, it actually comes off. There it is. It comes off by itself. Then go ahead and remove this flap simply by pulling it towards you like this. Okay, so I've laid the wiper arm on top of the car, put some protective cloth and this styrofoam here. Before we can start the work, we need to remove the wiper blade. Just a simple mechanism. Just pull this clip that way. So find it easy if you have two fingers supporting that part, and then the thumb on your other hand also tries to push it out, and then it just releases that clip. So to fix this wiper problem on the W203, what I'm planning to do is create a bend on this arm. It needs to, this end here needs to drop by 5 millimeters. So I might need to bend it in two parts so it's not too obvious. I'll probably try one here and another one here. Try to use these support as a marker, so it hides that bend. So I'll measure. I don't want to go overboard, because if I bend it too much, I don't want it to cause an upward pressure on this arm here, because this arm is not really secured really well. It's actually, as you can see, some corrosion already. It's only supported by sort of that tab there. There's 3 tabs around. It's not well secured, and if this one comes off, your wiper blade will just be all over the place. This is actually the second time I'm doing this job. The first time I did it, I bent the wiper arm and the arm that connects to the motor, and I learned the hard way that you should never bend this arm. When I installed this wiper back into the car, at first it was doing okay, but then after a few swipes, that happened. I'll create a template of where the angle, the current angle of the wiper. So I'll just say start from there, and I'll just trace it. Ooh. And I'll trace it also on the other side. Okay, so that's my guide. Okay, so I'm next to the garage door. I've been trying to find an item inside my garage where I can use to as leverage to bend this arm. These are really thick metal. I don't think I can bend it with my hand. So I've found this metal part here, and I think I can use this as leverage. So I'm just gonna insert that. So as I said, I'm gonna try to bend somewhere there. So I'll bend it first here, and if I don't get enough angle, I don't want to bend it too much, so it becomes too obvious. So if that's not enough, I'm gonna probably do another bend there, but I'll start here. So just see if that works. Hopefully the garage door can withstand this pressure, otherwise I'll find another item. So just checking if it's enough, so we'll see. Okay, don't think that bent. Progress, so I'm just damaging the garage door, but it probably had a bit of a bend. We'll see. We'll measure this in our template, see how much it's bent. Okay, so earlier there, that was the template, so I'm just gonna lay this here and measure if there's been any difference. It looks like it made a slight difference there. Not sure whether you can see that clearly, but looks like it did. Maybe that's enough. I'll go in and try it out, but if it's not yet enough, I'll do another bend. But it looks like it made a bit of a difference. Good thing is that it's actually not that obvious that it's actually bent. So slightly. I'll go and try it out. Okay, so I'm gonna try to put back the wiper as is without having to bend the second time. So as you can see here, you can actually see the bend slightly over here. It's not very prominent. I think it's very subtle. So hopefully this one would work. So I'm just gonna show you what the mechanism looks like. I did spray some WD-40, so that's why you see that sort of leak there. But if you flip it over, you can see there's on the left hand sort of arm, the shorter arm, you can see there's a bit of some sort of a groove. And what it does, it actually, the corresponding motor has a groove as well. Make sure it aligns with those grooves as well. Now on the other side, it's a different mechanism. It's got a square peg, and on the other arm it has a square hole, so that sort of makes sure it's always nice and secure and it doesn't move around. So what I'll do is what I normally do is try to align the left sort of arm first, and then make sure that the square peg lines up with the square hole. Sort of make sure it aligns with that square hole there, that it goes all the way in. And then on this side, that I try to make sure I wiggle it so it goes all the way in. And then as you're doing this, just keep in mind, or just take note that the wiper arm needs to line up as well. What I normally do is try to line up the wiper arm, this wiper arm here, just on the black portion of that windshield. So once it's sort of aligned a bit, it'll still move, but once it's sort of lined up, I start putting the nut back in. And then do the same for the other one. Again, make sure it's nice and aligned, all the grooves line up, the teeth line up. And just wiggle it, make sure it's aligned. Then get your socket wrench, tighten it up. So as you can see there, it's sort of sitting just below that black line there. So just tighten it up, and as you tighten it, you actually see the arm sort of settle in there. Yep. Nice and secure. And then lastly, put this on, line it up, and then clips in place. So let's go right ahead and close the hood. So to remove it from its service position, just press that red button, and that locks in place. And then let's go right ahead and fully close the hood. The wiper won't engage or won't turn on if the boot is open. Okay, so moment of truth. Let's see if there's still a gap. Looks good. Let's see from the same angle as before. Looks like there's no, I don't see any movement there, so that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Okay, so I've prepped the windshield. I put the styrofoam behind the windshield, just on top of the dashboard, so you can see the splash of water that I put in the windshield as it wipes. And I have this water spray here. I'm just going to continuously spray the windshield with water. So I'm gonna aim at the rain sensor. So it looks like it's clearing. Happy with the result of that. The motor seems to not make any funny movement there. It's still in place. So if I do a heavier spray, it's going to do a heavy wipe. Okay, now this is the another view of the wiper arm. It's not so prominent. You can see, you can just slightly notice you can notice a slight bend just right there, but it's not so prominent. I'm happy with that. I'm not gonna take it too far because I don't want this mechanism here to disengage or to disconnect. Hasn't fully wiped that area. You can see there's a slight miswipe there, but it's only up to here. I'm not too fussed about that. I won't even see that anyway when I'm driving. So yeah, happy with that DIY. So again, just right there where I bent that arm, and it sort of slightly alleviated that that blank spot there. And that's everything I have for you in this video. Thanks for watching. If you find this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and finally consider subscribing to this channel and hit that notification icon so you don't miss any of my updates. Until next time.